MHS is more unified than ever after a recent vandalism incident. We catch up on MHS spring sports. We take a look at some clips from Nichols Middle School Band and Chorus concert. This is MET News. Hi, and welcome to MET News. I'm Zoe Perriman. Let's get right to the lead. On March 28th, there was an incident involving vandalism on school property, which led to a sense of pride for our school community. More on that with Adeline Youngclaws.
Here at Middleborough High School, there was an event that occurred on Saturday, March 26th, that inspired students and staff to come together and support each other.
I think my emotions on Monday were really all over the place, to be honest. It was incredibly powerful to watch our student body come together. The pride within each other, the pride within the school. I think the kind of frustration and the anger that people had about what happened to our school and to our home. So I think that the response, I couldn't have been prouder of it.
Did you feel a sense of pride when you were supporting Middleborough?
Yes, I did feel a strong sense of pride seeing everybody wearing their, school spirit and having people from, the town coming together and supporting everybody.
I think I definitely felt a sense of pride, but also a sense of fulfilling responsibility.
Yeah, I definitely did. I feel like the next day when all of us came in our class shirts, it really showed the unity in our school.
So I definitely think that it brought everybody together. And now we're more aware of what's happening and what's going on and fighting against bullying or anything like that.
In your own words, what does it mean to be Sachem Strong?
In my own words, Sachem Strong really means unity, strength through adversity, living up to high standards and excellence set by the school, the administration, the teachers, and being resilient through thick, thin, through good times, bad times, showing a sense of resiliency, being resilient through everything.
I think being Sachem Strong is being able to lift each other up and bouncing back stronger when something like the vandalism happens in our community.
I mean, it's unfortunate that it had to come at the expense of something so malicious, so disgusting and destructive. But I think, hopefully we can take that as a school, as an example, and not have a short memory on it.
I'm a very big believer in the fact that when you have a strong school, that everything falls into place. So I think when students believe and feel and know that when they walk into their school every day, that they are safe and they are empowered to do great things and that they are part of a community and part of a family, then I deeply believe the fact that that strength kind of comes from within. And I think that strength exhibits itself in the classroom. I think it exhibits itself on the stage and in the athletic fields and on the rink and everywhere in between. I think I really would like to thank the school community for the unbelievable response. The notes and the emails and the kind words and I think that albeit that there was a threat made against me personally, I think really what was making me so upset and so deeply angry was really the hate that was left on our doors. And for me, I think that what I really would like to make sure is that our school community has rallied and is mobilized, and I just couldn't be more grateful for really the response and the love that they gave to each other. And I think, as always, I think that when we say that hate has no place here, what is here is that love will always win. And so I think that is really the biggest takeaway that I have, and you can see that within our student body every day, and I deeply believe that.
On Monday, Brannigan cited a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. saying, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." This has been Adeline Youngclaws with MET News.
We'll be right back with my MET, but first, here's Toby Shanks for MET Sports.
After making it to the South Sectional Finals last season, Middleborough Sachem's varsity softball started off the season with a 12-0 win against Whitman-Hanson on March 31st. On March 31st, Middleborough's varsity softball team defeated Whitman-Hanson with a score of 12-0. They then lost to Dighton Rehoboth on April 4th with a score of 5-7. They unfortunately lost again against Seekonk on April 8th with a final score of 2-3. They lost again to Greater New Bedford on April 9th with a score of 5-6. They came back from their losses on April 11th with a final score of 9-0 against Abington. Another amazing win for the Sachems on April 13th against Norwell with a score of 14-3. Here's the upcoming schedule for the girls softball team. Last season, the MHS baseball team made it all the way to the Division III South Final before losing to Medfield. The boys started off with a loss against Somerset Berkley Regional High with a score of 2-7 on April 5th, but they quickly came back with 2 wins in a row against Abington and then Norwell on April 11th and 13th with scores of 8-4 against Abington and 8-7 against Norwell, followed by another great win against New Bedford High on April 15th with a score of 11-8. On April 25th, the team lost to East Bridgewater with a score of 0-7. Here's the upcoming baseball schedule. JV baseball faced off against Somerset High School on April 5th at 4 p.m. Unfortunately, the Sachems lost with a score of 2-6. Now let's take a look at some highlights. The JV baseball team played Norwell on April 13th, coming on top with a win 8-5. Starting their season strong, on March 31st, the girls' tennis had won their first match of the season against Whitman-Hanson. Here are some clips from the match. On March 31st, the girls' tennis team started the season off with a strong win against Whitman-Hanson with a score of 5-0, followed by an unfortunate loss against Plymouth South on April 4th with a score of 2-3. They followed up with a 3-game winning streak against Rockland High on April 5th with a score of 4-1, then against Randolph High on April 7th with a score of 5-0. And finally on April 11th, they won again with a score of 4-1 against Abington at Middleborough. Here's the upcoming tennis schedule. On April 11th, the girls' varsity tennis team played a tough match against Abington, coming up on top with a score of 4-1. Here's some clips of freshman Maya Dean playing singles. Okay. Did you actually? No, you didn't. When? Yeah, I'm sure you were the goat. I don't know who spelled Maya's name like that. On April 12th, the girls continued their winning streak when they played a home game against Durfee with a score of 4-1. Unfortunately, they lost the next home game against Norwell on April 13th with an end score of 1-4. Here is the upcoming schedule for the girls' tennis team. On March 31st, boys tennis faced off against Whitman-Hanson. Despite the boys' best efforts, they unfortunately lost 0-5. At first singles, Dylan Lynch, who lost 3-6, 3-6. Here are some more highlights from the match. The boys tennis team started off their season with a loss against Whitman-Hanson on March 31st with a score of 0-5. Unfortunately, they followed up with 3 straight losses against Plymouth South with a final score of 0-5, Rockland on April 5th with a final score of 0-5, and Durfee on April 12th with a final score of 1-4. Here's the upcoming schedule for the boys tennis team. Here's the upcoming schedule for the boys tennis team. On April 1st, the boys lacrosse team took on Rockland at home and unfortunately lost 11-17. Even though they lost, they were still able to make some incredible highlights. Let's take a look. On Monday, April 4th, the varsity boys lacrosse team won against East Bridgewater with a score of 14-7. Let's look at some highlights from the game. On April 8th, the varsity boys lacrosse team faced Apponequet at home in a 13-9 loss. Let's take a look at some highlights from the game. The Middleborough High School girls lacrosse team unfortunately lost their first game with a score of 4-11 against Fairhaven on March 30th. They followed with a win against Rockland with a score of 17-2 on April 1st. The team sadly lost their next game against Apponequet with a score of 7-12 on April 9th. The team came back from their loss with two back-to-back wins against East Bridgewater with a score of 14-4 on April 15th, and then against Abington with a score of 13-6 on April 25th. Here's the upcoming girls lacrosse schedule. So far, the girls track team has had a strong season, winning 2 games back-to-back against Carver with a score of 84-52 on April 8th, and then they won against Abington with a score of 84-52 on April 13th. Here's the upcoming schedule for the girls track team. The Middleborough boys track team opened their season with a loss of 91-45 against Carver Middle High School on April 8th. They followed that loss with a strong win against Abington on April 13th with a final score of 91-45. Here's the upcoming boys track schedule. We will be right back with more MET news, but first, here are some public service announcements produced by Television Production 1 students.
How was your day, buddy? It was good. How's your food? Don't laugh, you know.
Bro, are you okay?
I'm perfectly fine.
Do you still throw your plastic away in the trash? If you do, you're one of the problems in the world. Did you know that 29% of the world's pollution comes from trash fires? Each time you recycle, you're saving the planet little by little. Now, recycling impacts our environment in a positive way. Here in Massachusetts, 2 million metric tons of carbon dioxide are annually reduced because of recycling. Also, recycling 1 ton of paper can save 17 trees. So next time you have a piece of paper or plastic, take the shot and recycle.
Weightlifting is a great way to keep your body in optimal condition. There are many exercises that you can do to target different areas of the body. Whether you're an athlete training for a sport or just want to get bigger, weightlifting is the way to go. Stretching and hydrating before and after are just as important as getting those gains. Even on the days you don't feel like it, keep on pushing yourself to be the best version of yourself. Make sure to always use correct form and stay safe out there. Ride Hawk out.
Now that quarter 3 has come to a close and the school year nearing an end, Middleborough High School seniors are reflecting on their high school experience. Let's hear what they have to say.
With the third quarter reaching an end soon, Middleborough High School seniors are feeling the pressure to make the best of the next few months. Let's speak to some.
Hi, my name is Brendan Myers, and I'm a senior at MHS. Life lessons that high school has taught me is to really just be you and express yourself, and don't let anyone put you down or shame you for things you like, what you dress like, or anything like that. Like, really just experience what life has to offer.
Hi, I'm Arshne Jones. I'm a senior at MHS. So advice that I have is basically have fun, like join whatever club you want to, join whatever sport. You only get one high school, like a high school career, so do whatever you want and really just like have fun and make as many memories as you can.
Hi, my name's Bella Generazzo, and I'm a senior at Middleborough High School. Some advice I have for the grades below is to really just savor every moment, spend as much time as you can with your friends, and just have fun because it goes by really fast.
Hi, I'm Holly Jacobson. I'm a senior. My biggest advice for underclassmen is just to get involved and branch out to other friend groups and go to other clubs and just participate in anything you can.
My name is Andrew Morey, and some advice that I would like to give to some younger classes is to not regret anything. Like if you have something you want to do, just don't be afraid to do it. Just send that John.
The upcoming graduation has everyone feeling bittersweet, especially our seniors. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Maddie Trox from MET News.
The middle school recently held the chorus, band, and orchestra concert. Here's some clips from the night.
Sun's gonna shine on everyone. Great day, the sun is shining on me. Great day, the sun is shining. Great day, the sun is shining. The sun's gonna shine on everyone.
Thanks for joining us on MET News. This is Zoe Perriman. Have a great night.